Josh said, look around, everybody on mute. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's doing okay and everyone is doing well. Another day, another Love Island review. Guys, if you were in yesterday's live, let's get a thumbs up, honey. As always, you guys know we had a good time yesterday on live, as we always do. Honestly, I love speaking to you guys on live because it's like we're having conversations as friends, because I know we're friends but through a screen, so it's nice, you know the vibe. But yeah, hey guys, another day, another Love Island review, and a lot for us to unpick and unpack. Guys, I won't lie, I fell asleep before Love Island. I woke up because I was awake. I was actually laughing as well. I won't lie, I actually really enjoyed today's episode. So a lot for us to unpick and also unpack. And also today's episode was an hour 20, so quite a few notes. So as I usually and always say, number one, if you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe and definitely join the family. You've been here for 5 weeks and you haven't subscribed. What's going on? Okay, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and also be sure to follow me on my Instagram and also on my Twitter at SarahDestinyX. And number three, as I usually and always say, please get cozy and comfy with a hot Ribena and some snacks. I actually have an orange juice today, so I don't have a hot Ribena, but I've got an orange juice down below. And let's get into today's review. So let's start off with the aftermath of the heart racing challenge. So first things first was Tobes and George. They were having a conversation about the results, and she was saying how much she really wanted it to be Toby and that she really wanted to make him proud. And I just got such an obsession with you, like honestly Tobes, like it's just a tiny bit, like maybe it's a lot actually, but yeah, she was just saying that she's honestly obsessed with him because you guys know her heart was raised the most by Toby, even in that little spaceship suit, which is so interesting. Of course, Georgia H and Anton was speaking about it as well. I'm gonna move past this quickly because we're gonna get into them later. Just because, guys, everything that I have, majority of, I told you guys, someone even said in one of my lives, like, Sarah, are you writing the script for Love Island? I don't know, guys, but I've been telling you that Georgia H and Anton weren't everlasting. They weren't everlasting. The situation just seems very, but we'll get into that shortly because I have a few singlets to tear, especially based on what they said at the end of the episode. Side eye. All right, cool. Moving on to Jess and Sophie. Jess was saying that she was speaking to Sophie about being worried at the fact that Callum's heart rate was raised the most by Molly, and also vice versa. Babe, I'll be worried too. Okay, those two are husband and wife. Okay, you guys already know Callum and Molly. If Callum and Molly got back together, I actually wouldn't even be mad. But they're honestly just very mature. And you guys also said on yesterday's live that they broke up because I think Molly wanted to take it to the next level. I think she's 29 and Callum is at 27. She wanted to take it to the next level, possibly i.e. marriage, and Callum just wasn't on the same wavelength as her. But yeah, I'll be worried too, Bill. Okay, that is his wife. I'm joking. Moving on to Molly and Tom. He said that it wasn't ideal, of course, but Molly said she honestly doesn't know why Callum raised her heart the most. Do you guys feel like the Love Island producers mess with the results? Let me know down below. I don't know. I don't feel like they messed with them per se, but yesterday's results were actually messy, but we love the mess because it gives us more to talk about. Okay, cool. But of course, one thing that they did say, especially because Tom's was most raised by Georgia S, was I actually feel like they actually had quite a mature approach to the conversation. Like they were bantering it. Like she was like, oh, go and see your girlfriend. He was like, yeah, go and see your ex. Like it was banter between them, but we know that that banter didn't stay for long because Sophie and Georgia had a conversation. Now, Sophie and Georgia S were having a conversation about Tom's heart racing the most for her, and she did confess that she stopped talking to Tom in order to pursue things with Toby. I feel like those timelines, yeah, anyway, that's what she said, okay, allegedly. But my thing is she kept going on the idea and trying to kind of push the narrative that, oh yeah, like, you know, I'm the one that had to shut it down because, you know, Tom really still wanted to get to know me, and I just, like, honestly, like, Tobes is for me, you know what I mean? Like, Tobes is my guy and I'm his girl. Like, that's honestly the vibe she was given. And that's not the truth, I'll be honest with you. I feel like in Georgia S's head, in Georgia Hess's head, sorry, she is still in Tom's head. So she honestly feels like, oh my gosh, this guy still likes me and this guy's the part. I don't actually feel like Tom cares, and I feel like Tom has told her numerous times that he doesn't care, even when they had conversations where they were quote unquote flirting and speaking, and she was really trying to figure out, oh, how's you and Moles, and she doesn't know you like I know you, and like even down to the heart racing challenge, when the results came out that she raised Tom's heart the most, she was like to Moles, oh, sorry, and Molly was like, there's no need to apologize, like there's no beef between us. I actually don't think about you, I actually don't care about you, and I find all of this obsession, it is weird, okay? It's very weird. At the end of the day, Tom is not leaving Molly to go back with Georgia S, so I don't know why she still thinks she's relevant in his head. Anyway, we don't know that Sophie now went to go and speak to Molly about it, and Sophie, in my opinion, in this situation, I tweeted it as well, that I don't understand I didn't understand the point of that conversation. I didn't understand the purpose of that conversation. Whose loyalty are you tied to? Were you trying to get Molly to start to second guess the situation with Tom? Were you trying to relay information from Georgia S? Like, I don't know, guys. Let me know down below, but I didn't really understand that interaction per se. I didn't understand it. It was really weird. But of course, Molly said that she also has noticed some weird things that Georgia S does. And, you know, she wants to talk to Tom to make sure that it is shut down. But yeah, nothing else to discuss there other than the fact that, once again, I didn't really understand the point of Sophie telling her that. And I also didn't want in that situation Molly to backtrack on the things that she spoke to about with Tom, because they already cleared the air and they just said it was just a silly game. So I didn't want now anyone getting into her head trying to convince her otherwise. But that's just that. You guys know nighttime came, of course, a few smooching and here and there, but Tom was trying to chat to Molly in bed and sis wasn't hearing it at all. And of course, like, as far as he's concerned, they're good. And Molly all of a sudden has downloaded this information. It's like, actually, I need to shut this down. I need to make sure that this is that. But Tom was really trying to get the information out of her. And I went like, guys, I don't know. Am I toxic? I don't know if I'm toxic, but I actually found that quite attractive, because Tom said, I'm not going to bed until you speak to me. Maybe I'm toxic, because I'd be going to bed angry, even though I know I shouldn't. Yeah, maybe I am. Just a tiny bit. Anyway, cool. Now, moving on to the morning after, a few conversations. So Georgia H and Anton, she said that they had a conversation and she was like, you know, I was really annoyed yesterday. I really wanted to snuggle you and you weren't really in the mood. Like I said, I'm going to get into them later, because I've been telling you guys this and I said it before and people are telling me, oh no, Sarah, give them a chance. It's so blatantly obvious that the babe doesn't like the guy. It's so obvious that she doesn't like the guy. Of course, Tom said that it was weird at first, but he's cool with it, aka the heart racing challenge, that there's no beef between him and Molly and they're actually fine, or so he thought. And Arabella was speaking to the girls, pretty much saying that, no, Arabella, sorry, Molly was speaking to the girls, speaking about the whole Georgia S situation. As much as Arabella, Georgia H and Georgia S are really cool, I am very happy that Arabella and Georgia H kind of like shut that down, like, oh no, I feel like Tom is really, really, really into you and I don't think you have anything to worry about with Georgia S. And I actually have to agree, like, Molly was saying certain stuff in terms of Georgia S giving her attitude and giving her this, and it's true, guys. We literally all see this. Even if it's not attitude, she does things indirectly that lets me know, okay, cool, like, you're overly thinking about me and my situation with Tom and it's really not that deep. So yeah, Georgia S does give off very standoffish, fake energy towards Molly, and we've noticed this before as well. So I'm not surprised that Molly feels that way, but I am glad that Arabella and Georgia H pretty much told her not to worry about it. By the way, guys, I don't know how long this review is going to be because it was an hour 20. I'm still got lots to discuss. Okay, cool. Now, moving on to Sophie and Molly talking about Anton and Georgia H. Wait, Sophie and Molly. Oh, yeah. So Sophie and Molly were speaking about, sorry, guys, my notes can sometimes confuse me. But I was speaking about Anton basically saying that Georgia H is sometimes hot and cold. At the same time, the triple A's, Anton, Arabella, and Adam, they shouldn't try and make that a thing, by the way. Fetch is not happening. But of course, they were having a conversation. Pretty much he was saying that he's really touchy and he doesn't feel like his feelings are considered in their situation and what they're going through and everything like that. And once again, everything that I said still stands. I don't feel like Georgia H is into Anton, and I've been saying this, okay? Like, I feel like she had to settle, especially after the whole Casey situation and all the situations that was happening in the villa. Anton was kind of the only person that was free there, and all of a sudden you guys decided to stick together like glue. But I don't really see much progression with them. I don't really see much with them. But that's just my own opinion. Let me know down below if you agree, disagree. You guys know. I'd love to read your comments and also your views. But I don't think... I don't know. I've been saying this though. Moving on to Molly and Tom talking. He said he wants to make sure that everything is okay and that there's nothing between her and Callum and vice versa. She wanted to make sure that everything was okay between him and Georgia S. And yeah, Tom pretty much just shut it down. Like, listen, like, don't even think for 1 second that I'm really into that girl. So yeah, I hope Georgia S just kind of gets the message and she can go on and beat up her types or whatever. But I already told you guys this as well. I actually really like Tom and Molly together. Molly is a no-nonsense babe. Yeah, Molly is absolutely a no-nonsense babe. And I absolutely love that she's very stern and very straightforward. And I don't know, maybe has Tom dealt with someone like that before? I don't really remember. But I remember Sammy. Sammy was straightforward as well, actually. So maybe that's just his type. But I love the fact that they're just mature, if I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like they're quite mature in that villa. Okay, cool. Or maybe Molly's the mature one. I don't know. Okay, cool. Now let's move on to... what else am I moving on to? Okay, yeah, Georgia H and Arabella. So Georgia H and Arabella were having a conversation and she said that she really wanted to cuddle Anton yesterday, but he was wearing a mask over his head and she feels like she's given a lot more than she's used to. She wants to feel young and coupled up. What I said still stands. The babe is not into that guy and she just had to stick it out because there was no one else in the villa giving her time of day. When Casey came back into the villa, I thought she maybe thought there was hope there, but Casey was said, babe, you've been interacting with people I haven't seen physically in a while. Okay, so On a serious note, it's not that. And I feel like she was really hurt by the Casey situation. But I genuinely feel like she just had to settle for Anton. And, you know, the series is coming to an end. So she either needs to stick it out or they should just drop her and forget about it now. Okay, cool. Moving on to Adam and Arabella. Everything I said in yesterday's live. If you guys were in yesterday's live, then you definitely know the vibe that I'm giving and what I'm exactly going to say. First and foremost, we did identify that Adam looks like Michael Schofield from Prison Break. Okay, that's that vibe. Second of all, that episode on, I think Sunday's episode, when he kissed her and like literally moved away, told us all we need to know. But today's episode also told me more of what I needed to know, is that he's not into that babe. And Arabella is laying it on way too thick. As a lady who's been here before, you need to let the man graft. Everyone knows that relationships are more successful even when guys like the girl more. I don't know why it's like that. It just happens to be like that. But you need to let the guy graft. She's just like, oh yeah, like, where are you going to live? And he was like, oh yeah, Battersea, because she lives in Battersea. And then the thing is like, he is saying the nice things like, oh my gosh, yeah, like, we need to get dogs. So, because obviously when you get dogs, then you know if you can handle children and blah, blah, blah. And that sounds like music to Arabella's ears, but it's too much. I feel like he's saying nice things to try and make her happy, but he's saying it with a straight face. Like, imagine you're speaking to someone that you like and they're like, yeah, we need to get some dogs because obviously when we get dogs, then we will know how to handle children. And Arabella's like, oh my gosh, children already. Like, I just kind of feel like she's laying it on way too thick. It's been 4 days and Sister's moving that she's found the love of her life. No one's saying that that's not possible because look at, you know, some couples. Yeah, we already know the success rate for some of the couples in Love Island as well, but I feel like it's just been way too soon. But yeah, I feel like she needs to let him graft. Adam isn't grafting at all, and it's because he doesn't need to, because you're the one that's doing the grafting. So I need her to act like, you know, she's been there before and she needs to let him work. Moving on to Anton and Georgia H talking about each other's love languages. He said that his is acts of service and affection, and some days she's really hot and also she's really cold. Of course, they ended up sharing a kiss and said that, you know, we're just going to work it out. We're just going to keep things moving. But once again, I feel like they're both settling for each other because there's no one else in the villa giving each other, sorry, my camera's flashing. There's no one else in the villa who is giving any of them their time of day. So there really isn't anyone else that you could try and pursue, even if you wanted to, especially so late in this stage and process as well. Now, let's move on to the night time. My belly's rumbling, so I'm going to go eat rice after this. They get a text while they're getting ready that tonight they will find out who the public, how the public rates you as all-star couples. Guys, where and when was this about? Unless they're honestly just trying to get an overall consensus based on like our tweets and like Facebook groups and stuff that people are in. I don't remember there being a vote, or have I just not been tuned? No, there wasn't a vote. I don't think there has been. Did you vote? I didn't vote. I don't remember them announcing a vote. But anyway, the first question, oh, by the way, guys, tea was spilt today, okay? And I'm going to be very honest with you, sorry. Josh was honestly my star player for tonight's episode. Josh said, look around, everybody on mute. Josh said everyone should speak up right now or forever hold your peace. Everyone was... Josh was my star player for today's episode, okay? Let's get into it. So starting off with number one, the hottest couple. They put Molly and Tom as gold, Arabella and Adam as silver, and Toby and Georgia as bronze. But the public voted for Molly and Tom, which I'm not surprised. They are a very good looking couple. Jess and Callum, which I'm also not surprised because they are a very good looking couple as well. And Sophie and Josh, which I'm not surprised because they are a very... Josh is not ugly. Sophie is a beautiful babe, and I feel like she probably maybe just bumps the votes up just... you know, just a tiny bit. Cool. The second question was, who is the most argumentative couple? And I won't lie, Josh was absolutely on smoke in tonight's episode, guys. People on Twitter were like, some people anyway, were like, oh my gosh, Josh is annoying. Guys, Josh was so entertaining today. Hey, I enjoyed. Okay, I really did. But Georgia H said, why are you putting us up there? Why are you putting us up there? You and Anton stay arguing, babe. Why are you so confused? Anyway, Sha, they ended up putting Sophie and Josh as number one, Toby and Molly as number two, and Georgia, Toby and Molly? No, I think that's supposed to say Toby and Georgia S, I think. And then Georgia as Anton at number three, but the results were Georgia S and Tyves as number one. And she was like, it was probably based on what, you know, my situation and stuff that's happening. You know, anytime you say something negative about Georgia S, she's going to come and give you story. Every time. Every and any time. Georgia H and Anton were number two, and Toby and... why did I write Toby and Josh? Sophie and Josh were number three. Now, moving on to the third question, which was the most boring couple. So Georgia H and Anton, I'm just going to go into the results because technically what they voted for doesn't really matter until it gets into the juicy bits, period. So of course the public ended up voting for Georgia H and Anton. They were like, oh, we're not loyal, and we're loyal, we're not boring. I don't know how that matches up, babe, but okay. Of course, they ended up putting Georgia S and Toby as number 2, and also Arabella and Adam as number 3, which is very interesting. Arabella and Adam did say, of course, it's because we're new, you know, Adam's only been here a couple of guys. But yeah, you know, maybe this is right, because when I think of boring, I was going to say Molly and Tom, but I find Molly quite entertaining. Like, she's a no-nonsense babe. She speaks her mind, she says what she wants, and if anything, Tom is the one that makes them boring, because he really don't be doing much apart from standing there and looking good. But yeah, those were the results. Now, the fourth question, which was when things start to get a bit spicy, do you know what I mean, was which couple was only staying together to win? Now, Georgia S and Toby, they were like, oh, you know, we've been through hell to win here. Like, honestly, we've been through hell. Like, we've been through hell and back. This has been a war zone. Blah, 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 blah. We taking shots after shots after shots. Anyway, they went to go and put themselves first. Josh was talking to Sophie, and he was saying that he hates it when people are argumentative, like, over it. And then Anton was like, Josh, what are you saying? I was just thinking, babe, be for real. Like, be for real, be so for real. For me, Anton had a bit too much dip in his trip today, boy. Because I didn't understand where that energy came from. And Josh and Sophie were just genuinely having a conversation, because we have to vote regardless, guys. It doesn't matter what you think, it's what the public thinks. So let's just try and think with the public's eyes. Like, what's not clicking with everyone here? So when Anton's like, Josh, what are you saying over there? Come down from that podium and beat me then. Come and beat me. Seeing as you want to fight so bad. He's talking to his girl and he's saying, babe, it's actually okay. Of course, Sophie and Josh didn't actually care to go up. So they were just like, yeah, we'll just go up then. Like, seeing as, you know, people think we're only here together because we want to win. And my thing as well is, like, you're triggered at the fact that they're having a laugh as a couple. They literally just, this is banter to them. Like, it's a joke. It doesn't need to be taken seriously because they know what they have. So you can only be triggered if the shoe fits, my love. I hope you know that. Of course, the results ended up being Georgia and Toby as number 1, Georgia H and Anton as number 2. The lack of self-awareness for them was insane, because once again, just story. Like, oh my gosh, we've been going from strength to strength. We didn't ask if you've been going from strength to strength. Yeah, we're just trying to answer the question so we can move on with the game. And Arabella and Adam were number 3. Now, the 5th question was the least romantically compatible couple. And they were speaking about how they need to factor in the distance and the time and how life is going to be outside of the villa, etc., etc. So number 1 was Georgia S and Tobes. Number 2 was Georgia H and Anton. Once again, reminding us that, guys, we're going from strength to strength. I think Georgia H was like, if I need to move to Scotland, I'm going to move to Scotland. Okay, babe, you do that. Because I don't know why you guys are trying to convince us of what we already know. What's going on? Okay. And number 3 was Arabella and Adam. Now, the next question was, which couple... There was bare questions, by the way, guys. I think like 8 questions. But anyway, the next question was, which couple has the most one-sided relationship? The answers were Georgia H and Anton as number 1, Georgia S and Toby as number 2, and Adam and Arabella as number 3. They've been up there bare times. Oh my gosh. The next question was, which couple was the most intelligent? What made me laugh was Molly said it as it is, because I think... Georgia S and Toby kind of wanted to like fight their case, and so did Georgia H and Anton, and Molly was like, guys, in the nicest way possible, I don't learn anything from Georgia S and Toby, like, and it's true, I'm not learning anything from you. They then also said that I think someone said that Georgia H was intelligent because she was spiritual. I don't know how that matches up, not in a bad way or anything, but being spiritual doesn't automatically equate to being intelligent, in my personal opinion anyway. And Arabella was coming to say, I have life experiences. Yeah, okay, babe, we all have life experiences, okay? Age is nothing but a number, okay? But anyway, the answers were Tom and Molly as number 1, Georgia H and Anton as number 2, and Arabella and Adam as number 3. Now, moving on to which couple is most likely to cheat on each other. And this is when things really got spicy. And this is when mics were really on. And this is when arguments really started to happen. So starting off with Toby. Toby said he will never cheat. And Arabella was like, really? And he was like, yeah, I wasn't with you though. Sis was quiet. Arabella needs to let it go. I call her an Aguaya for a reason. You guys know this. But I do feel like she does need to let the Toby situation go. Toby pretty much confessed to the fact that he may have stepped out on her, but they weren't actually together, so technically it wasn't cheating. Oops. But anyway, the results ended up being number 1 is Georgia S and Toby. They were pissed. I'm gonna get into that after as well. Number 2 was Sophie and Josh, and number 3 was Arabella and Adam. Now, the last question was, who is the most game playing couple? And honestly, none of them wanted to stand up there, and I hear it, guys. I won't lie. This is the question where you have to stand your ground. All the other ones, you could have just been like, oh yes, don't worry, we'll go. Oh, we'll take one for the team. Don't worry. Oh, we'll go, we'll go. This question here, everyone has to argue just to stand their ground, just so that that's out there, rather than you just walking up willy-nilly and standing on the podium. But of course, Josh was just like, at the end of the day, you know, let's just try and find a rational way to go around this and to come to a conclusion. And he allowed all of the couples to vote, so that the couples with the highest votes are the ones that end up going on the podium. Of course, Josh was saying that Georgia H's journey has been very interesting because she kept dropping Anton and going back and everything. And then Georgia H was all of a sudden was just like, oh well, Josh, no, that's disrespectful. I'm going to tell you this right now. Like, obviously, I back you and my best mate in this video. I back you. And you know what, Josh, the truth is, I've been hearing about you. I've been hearing that you've been speaking about me. And Josh was like, okay, who's been talking? Because it can only clearly be Anton. And she's just like, you know what, it's not my place, it's fake. And Josh was like, no, like I want it. Josh was actually on smoke. I was loving it. It was the entertainment for me. Josh was like, no, I actually want to hear it. He was like, well, clearly it can only be Anton. Anton is now standing there like, bread. No. You people started war. Oh yeah, bring out the weapons. Kia, bring it. Josh now tells them, all right, does anyone have anything to say? Does anyone have anything to say? Look around, everybody on mute. Guys, it even went to a break because no one said anything. No one said anything, guys. I was actually screaming because Josh said, if you're going to speak, back it with evidence right now. And you couldn't do that. So let's not do it. Oh, cool. Arabella in this situation tried to make it about her. She was like, okay, that's the metric that we're going on, then let's talk about me. And then Georgia was like, babe, I'm speaking, it's been addressed to me. Because Arabella's, well, you that mic, it's okay. We know you've been through experiences here. We know you've dated people. It's okay. Like, if that's the metric we're going to be going on, then I think I should really be in that. It's okay. The conversation wasn't about you because no one actually directed it to you. It's all right. But of course, Josh was like, yes, everyone needs to vote. So Georgia S and Tobes were voted for the most by majority of the islanders. And they were kind of getting on my nerves because as she was walking up, she was just like, this is ridiculous, Tobes. Tobes, I've had it up to here. Tobes, I've had it up to here now. This is absolutely ridiculous. Like, we keep taking shot after shot after shot after shot after shot. Babe, you're the one that keeps saying that you've been to war. That's what's expected. That's what's expected in war. You're going to get attacked. If you're so strong, stand on your word. You will come out victorious, I promise you. Okay? But literally, they got on the pen and just like, no, Tobes, this is absolutely ridiculous. Like, and then Tobes was just like, yeah, a bunch of haters and a bunch of... Gosh, I don't... My thoughts and views still stand on Tobes and George, okay? If you don't know those thoughts, go back to my other reviews because, babe, it's actually okay. Anton and Georgia H were number 2. They said that they don't deserve to get as much stick. Yes, you do. I just don't know who they're trying to convince. That's what's interesting to me. Anyway, and number 3 was Arabella and Anton. Of course, Georgia H and Anton now were speaking about Josh. And I mean, like, towards the end, yeah, Josh was just like, you know, laughing about it and everything because clearly, you know, him and Sophie were only up there for the good things, nothing too shady. And Anton was, and Georgia were now talking like, yeah, I feel like, yeah, he's been, he probably doesn't like us together. One thing I would also say, I don't know why I just done that, but one thing that I would also say as well was that I feel like Sophie was kind of getting annoyed at Josh as well because even when he was like laughing and talking and rocking back, she was like, Josh, like, you know, relax. So even when the camera zoomed in on them, you can see that, you know, guys, we'd be looking at everything and anything here. Her facial expressions were telling us all that we needed to know. And I'm pretty sure in tomorrow's episode, they are going to have a conversation and speak about it. But overall, guys, I actually quite enjoyed that episode. The first half was a bit, but the second half, honey, we were on our Zoom. So yeah, guys, I would love to know what you guys also thought about today's episode down in the comments as per usual. You guys did also say in yesterday's review on live that was our last live, but no, Love Island ends on Monday the 19th, next week Monday. So we're going to have another live on Sunday, period. But yeah, I'd love to know what you guys actually thought. As always, if you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe. And if you're joining the family, and also be sure to follow me on my Instagram and also on my Twitter at SarahDestinyX. But yeah, other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. I know it's Valentine's, but don't worry. I'm gonna see you tomorrow, period, okay? But yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely Valentine's. Even if nobody loves you, Jesus loves you, and I love you. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you loads, and I'll see you in our next one. Bye!